Thank you for watching Rundlii Gaming. We're going to be doing a video on the game of Tsuro of the Seas. Now, in this particular one, you are basically playing the game of Tsuro. I do have a previous video on that if you do want to watch a game of how Tsuro is played. This is going to be a slight variation of it because it includes what they call daikajus, I think is how you pronounce it. And this is basically a dragon thing. So like these dragons. And they will come down and fly around. They can destroy tiles, they can destroy your ships, and they kind of have a random movement that they do. So at the beginning of the game, so once we laid out this, we're going to make sure we shuffle 3 of these to each player. These are going to be the different tiles that we use to move. And then at that point you want to make sure to then place the dragons here on the board. Now they are going to be all pretty random as far as how they are dropped. So in this case, gold 6 will be on here, and blue 6 here. So in this case, the first one is going to be randomly placed there. Since we are going to be demonstrating a 3-player game, we're going to go ahead and drop 6 of these, because these are going to actually be based on the player count. So in this case, gold 5, blue 1. So blue 5, gold 1. Gold 1, blue 2. Gold 4, blue 2. Oh, that was a 2-2. So 2-2. So as you can see, there are quite a few dragons already on the table here. Now at this point, each player, you can randomly determine who will be first. So let's say in this case black was first. They're going to decide that they get to go first, so he's going to drop here. Then we'll say red decides they're going to second, so they'll drop here. And then blue will try the corner here and see how that goes. Now pretty much from here is it'll always go in rotation of the first player that dropped is going to be the first player to also drop, start the game as well. So how it's going to work is that at this point, at the beginning of each round, you're going to roll the dice. On a total result of 6, 7, or 8, so in this case it was 9, there will be no movement this round. But let's say if this was a 7, any blue 5s would move, so like this one would move upward, this one moves this way, and this one moves that way. Then your gold 2, so this one moves south, this one moves that way, and then this one would rotate. There is another special rule to this as well. If a 6 is rolled, so let's say if we did a 8 here, and a 6 is rolled, another dragon is going to drop instead of the blue movement. So in this case you would be able to roll for placing where he's going to go. So gold 3, blue 2. Then he would drop there. Now that being said, you'll still follow the movement from the previous one, which is the gold 6, blue 2. However, you do also have to place a dragon if there's ever a 6 rolled on there as well. That is only if it's part of the 6, 7, or 8 number zone. So, that being said, at the start of the round, he's going to do that. So we know that they are going to move because it's the 7. So in this case, gold will move to 4. Gold here will rotate because that's his 4. Blue, gold 4, blue 3, blue 3, and rotate. And that is going to be how the movement of those work. Now at this point, black can now drop a tile. let's say he decided he wanted to... Maybe he decides he wants to go to the left. So now he's going to have to follow this path until it reaches the end of the path, and now he's there. So for example, next turn he would then lay a tile here, and wherever he ends up at, he'll lay a tile at one of the places he ends up there. He would then draw another tile. This is when you would also check for the number of dragons on the table. If there are over 3 or less, you would then have to drop more dragons up to at least 3. There are some more rules as far as the dragons themselves. Now, let's say if we were to have had them like this. Let's say a blue and a gold 3 both happen at the same time. So in this case, he would rotate, then he would move on top of this dragon. The blue dragon does kill the gold dragon, because the one that was active is going to kill the one that was stationary. This also being said, let's say there was a blue 3 and a gold 3. They're going to both be moving into the same space. So in this case, they're both considered active, because they both moved to get there. You would compare the size up here by whatever number that they have. So in this case, the 4 is going to beat the 3. And then he would get destroyed. This also being said, if a dragon were to move into a space that has a tile on it, let's say the ship's not there right now, they will destroy the tile that gets put on the bottom of the deck. If there is a ship there, however, it will kill that player. Another rule. If you are moving into a space and there's still a dragon there, when you are going to place your tile, that means you will be eliminated as well. So in this case, I can't drop a tile, so therefore I'm going to just run straight into the dragon. I die because of it. Or my ship is destroyed. There is an exception to this rule. So if you have not been able to play your first tile, let's say gold 2 roll twice, before I can actually place a tile, you would actually be able to change what starting position you started at this round. So it's kind of a way so that way you at least got to play something during the game. In this case, the dragon moved there before you could actually move. So in this case, there is a little, caveat on there that if this does happen, you can move your ship to another starting location and begin there instead. You're not just eliminated before you can move. There are some movement rules, and this is going to be very similar to the other Tsuro as well. Let's say it is red's turn currently. Now you can only put a tile down where you're going into. As you can see, there's a second ship here, so they are going to have to also abide by whatever you would have placed in there. So let's say in this case I would follow this line, and black would follow this line. So that's going to be mostly how the tile placement goes. The only real big differences between this Tsuro and the old Tsuro is it does have these dragons, and they do have a little bit more of a luck element to it. So if you're not a big fan of luck, you can play it without the dragons. There's enough tiles here to do so. I think there's like 50 something. And in this case it's a 49 board. So that is going to be the bulk of the game of Tsuro of the Seas. As I said, it's a fairly light casual game. It's another one that you can kind of teach within 5 minutes or so. So like a quick overview of it. First thing you do in the round, roll the dice. If it's 6, 7, or 8, then you'll move all the dragons. In this case, blues move 3s, gold move 5. So in this case, 3, 3, 3, 5, 5, 5. At this point you place a tile, and at that point you check to see whether or not there are at least 3 dragons on the board. If there are not, you then replenish them. If a 6 is rolled on either of the 2 dice, you would then have to drop another dragon based on rolling the dice. You drop it on 4 blue, 2 gold here. And then kind of rinse and repeat. So again, it's a fairly kind of lightish game. If the dragons ever fly off the board, they're destroyed, so that eventually they'll come back at some point, but they kind of wandered off. So I do hope you enjoyed the video. So we should have another video posted next week of how to play another game. And then thank you for watching Rundlii Gaming. You have a good day.